feel like your blues solos are missing something, you're wanting to add that extra bit of sophistication like Robin Ford or Josh Smith, you just don't know how, you're stuck in that pentatonic rut that we all go through. Maybe you've looked at some diminished scales, it's not really working for you, just want to add that jazzy element to your blues. Well, I'm going to fix that for you. Check out 3 amazing Josh Smith licks where he goes through the 12-bar blues, standard 12-bar blues, nothing fancy, but he's adding those chromatic lines that we all want to know what the hell he's doing. We're going to break it down into really, really nice chunks so you can take it away and break out of that pentatonic rut. So I'm going to show you how to play the lick, but I'm also going to show you what to do with it. It's cool to learn the lick and play it in the context of a blues. It's really, really fun because they are fun licks, but it's important that we take that concept, move it around the fretboard so we can bring it into our own solos and we're not just limited to a copy and paste sort of scenario. This is the first lick. Now, if you want the tab to all of these licks, it is available on my Patreon page. I've also included 3 full choruses of me playing the blues, so you can get a few more licks out of it, a few different ideas, and see how I actually incorporate each of these licks into a different chorus of the blues. You can sign up with the link in the description. 7-day free trial at the moment. Come and join us. It's a really, really awesome community over there. Let's get back to the video. Now, we're in the key of G here. This particular lick is over the 4 chord, which is C7, but it can work over the 1 chord as well. Let's jump right into it. So he does this little chromatic walk up from the major 9 to the major 3rd. There's some nice sort of chromaticism there. And then we're going to go from the 10th fret, which is the major 6, and go chromatically down to the 5th. That's what we've got so far. Then we're going to hit the root note, minor 3rd, and then the major 3rd. I love that idea in itself. Right, and then we're going to go root note, the 5th, right, and then we're going to go to the 6th, hammer onto the flat 7, and then back. Right, and then we're going to go chromatically down from the 5th through the blues note to the perfect 4th, hit the minor 3rd and slide into the major 3rd. That's a chromatic enclosure if you want to get really intellectual about it. And then we're going to hit the root note. Really, really nice idea. I've seen Josh do this a lot. Check it out. This is what it is in full. That is really, really jazzy. It's really highlighting the chord quite well. It sounds awesome. Now, what I love about this lick is that there are some really good bite-sized pieces of information that you can grab straight away and take it into your own solo and not actually copy the lick note for note. One of those pieces of information is going from the 9 to the 3rd, or the 2nd to the 3rd, chromatically, right? I think that sounds cool. You could even go 1 note higher, right? The other piece of information that I love is going from the 6th through the flat 6 to the 5th. Right, so you can see I'm taking those nice little ideas, making it my own, creating some different phrases, not copying the lick note for note. So if I take both of those ideas, those concepts, and add the notes of like the minor pentatonic scale or the major pentatonic scale, which is what I'm used to, and probably what you're used to too, we can add some, you know, sophistication straight away. Check it out. Right, really, really simple. I'm just adding that chromatic phrase to the flat 7 that I already know is going to work, and then I had the blues note there, and then I slid back into it. Right? Let's do the other one where we're going from the 9 to the 3rd. That sounds cool, right? And I'm even using that, minor third to major third slide with that root note there. Now the other little chunk that we can check out is going from the 5th chromatically down, skipping the major third, hitting the minor third, and then sliding into it, right? We can just take that concept anywhere we want, right? Sounds awesome. Right, so some really cool stuff just from that, those 3 little chunks of information. We can bring it to another level. Now, I encourage you to explore that in different locations on the fretboard, right? Focus on just one concept. So let's say we take the 6th to the 5th, right? I did that on a different string set. Right, I could do it here. Really important that you're getting all of that information across the fretboard. Alright, so this lick is quite long. I'm going to move pretty fast. If you want the tabs to this lick as well as the other licks, plus 3 full solos played by me, you can sign up to my Patreon page. There's a link in the description. There's heaps of cool stuff. It's going to be really beneficial and easy for you to learn with the tab. But let's jump straight into it. So Josh starts off with an E minor triad. That gives us a G6 sound. We're playing over the 1 chord, so we get a G6 sound when we do that. Then he reaches for the 5th of G and he does the same move that we did over the 4 chord in lick 1, where we go 5, flat 5, 4 to the minor third, and then sliding into the major third with that chromatic enclosure. It's pretty cool, right? And then we go down a G triad, which is a D shape for those caged lovers. Yeah, it's a nice way to visualize that G triad. Right, that kind of thing. So far we've got this. He then repeats that chromatic enclosure idea and then goes down the G triad again. Really cool. Hits the flat 7 of G, the 6th, and then the 5th. And he plucks those 2 notes and then slides. Yeah, so far we've got this. Then we're going to hit the C note. And then we're going to do the same chromatic idea that we did before, going from the 6th to the 5th, and then hit the C note again, minor third, major third, root note, right? There's a lot of stuff there. Right, and then hit the 5th at the end. Cool. So far it's this. Then we're going to do a very similar move to what we did before in lick 1, where you're hitting the 6th of G, hammering onto the flat 7, releasing, and then we're going to go chromatic from the 5th to the 4th, which is a C note, and then he plays some arpeggios, which we're going to check out. So he does a C dominant 7 arpeggio, and then goes down to the major 2nd of G. Remember, we're still playing over G. And then continues down the C triad, if that's how you want to think about it. So far it's this with that arpeggio. And then he goes to C sharp. It does a C sharp diminished triad. I know there's a lot here, guys. And then we're home free back in blues land after this, okay? Where he plays some nice bluesy stuff, which we'll check out in a sec. So far, up to the point of this C sharp diminished, I'm getting confused. Up until that point, we've got this. Right, and then hitting the 2nd fret of G, right? We then go into blues land, and then chromatically down from the 5th, there's this same repeating idea, right? So that's then hitting the 5th of G, the root note of G, back to the 5th, and then the minor third to the 2nd, and then root note, 6, root note. There's a lot there, right? I'm going to play it from the arpeggio really slowly. Check it out. that's the end of it, right? There's a lot of sort of jazzy stuff in the middle with that C7 arpeggio, right? And then that D diminished, C sharp diminished, which we'll check out more in depth in a second. But when he goes to, I love that, really, really finishing on some nice soulful blues ideas. So here's the lick slowly in full. Now there are some similar ideas to lick 1, being the chromatic enclosure, but I like how he takes it down the triad, right? You can explore those different ideas, right? Right? That kind of thing, or you could even go, that sounds really cool, right? Sounds nice, I like that. Then you've got the idea of the C7 arpeggio. Now this is interesting because it is over the 1 chord, but what I do like is the D, I keep doing that, the C sharp diminished, right? So maybe you take it up the octave, check this out. Right, all I did was C, and then C sharp diminished, and then went back to the blues. Or what about if you did C7? Whoa, that's cool, C7. And then I did the D diminished. Sorry, I keep doing that. The C sharp diminished. And then went back to the blues, right? Really cool ideas there, right? All right, this last lick is really, really soulful. It's not super jazzy, but it does give you some chromatic ideas with a bit of a drone or a common tone on top. Let's jump into it. Now, I just love this phrasing. I think this is awesome. There is a little bit of chromatic stuff happening with some hammer-ons, and this is the idea. Check it out. Right, so we're going from the 9 to the 3rd, or the 2nd to the 3rd, with that sort of hammer-on legato approach, right? And then hitting the 5th, and then the flat 7, and then doing some chromaticism from the 5th to the 6th, and then hitting the 5th. That's the main idea, right? Now this is really cool, the 5th, and then hitting the minor 3rd, giving a little bit of attitude there, and then landing on the root note. Really soulful. Right? Thinking about the articulation there, how long I'm holding each note. So the second half of this lick is all chromatic with the G note on top. We're going to go from the minor 3rd and slide into the major 3rd and go chromatic to the 5th, and then go back down to the 4th, and then circle that major 3rd by going from the minor 3rd into it. There's that chromatic enclosure. Right? And then a little bit of a rake down what I think is the minor 3rd of G, the flat 7, and then landing on the D note, which is the 5th of G. Right? It's sort of like muted there. And that's really, really cool. A really, really soulful idea with some chromatic sort of legato stuff. You know what I mean? You can add that into really anywhere. Can sound really, really cool. So there you have it. There is a whole bunch of jazzy sort of elements that you can add to your playing. Through the great Josh Smith, you can learn those concepts and apply them to your own blues solos. I hope you got something out of it. As I said before, all that good stuff is available on my Patreon page if you want to sign up. Thanks so much for watching. See you on the next one.